Hi, my name is Gabby and I'm addicted to DANI. I mean, I wouldn't call it an addiction, I'd just say it's just a form of appreciation, right? Well, it's basically just my appreciation for this person called DANI. I mean, he's just absolutely amazing. What is a DANI addiction? Well, I mean, it's just my appreciation for DANI. He makes awesome videos and he inspires me every day to do better. So my daily activities are pretty simple. I mean, I just watch DANI videos all day and go on his Reddit because, you know, there's some cool people there, and I basically just tell them that they should stop posting on the Reddit because I am DANI's #1 fan and they should stop. Oh, I also drink milk, you know. I mean, I was lactose intolerant and I was kind of allergic to it, but because of DANI I started drinking it and now I just have bowel problems. But you know, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Oh, I forgot, I also made my own DANI cereal, which is cool, right? Because all I eat is basically just the DANI cereal and milk. That's basically all I eat nowadays. And it doesn't matter if I die early or anything, it's worth it because, you know, it's for DANI. Oh, those things behind me? Oh yeah, that's just, once again, my appreciation for DANI. I printed them off so I can, you know, go into the kitchen every day, I can see this and eat my DANI cereal and my milk, you know? Just pretty
Dude, this is really weird. We're just gonna leave. I mean, we see a lot of strange addictions, but this is just far too weird for us.
Just stay, promise. So yeah, I don't actually have an addiction for DANI, but, you know, I like his videos and stuff. Anyway, I got some comments saying that I should make a game themed about him, so I was like, yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and make a game. So let's get into it, I guess. Yeah.
So, as per usual, I started by making a Unity project. But then, I didn't know what to do. So because this game is meant to be about DANI, I decided to do my research. I basically went through his Reddit and videos to find things that he liked. So in this game, we will need milk, orange juice, particles, post-processing, thickness, and physics. So with that, I began. So before trying to implement any types of mechanics, I actually began by making some sprites. I made a quick milk sprite, which will act as the main player. I also created some orange juice cartons, and oh, a Gucci banana. All of this was made in Photoshop and it didn't take too long, which is why it doesn't look the best. And then I basically just imported it into the project. So I guess it was now time to get an idea down and actually start making some mechanics. So the first thing I wanted to make was the player. Now I know DANI loves ragdolls, so I decided to try and create one in this game. Now I've never created any sort of ragdoll, but it wasn't too hard. After creating the initial ragdoll, I had to actually make some movement for it, and this is where my issues started. I tried to get something to work, but I couldn't really make it function very well. I ended up making some movement, but it didn't really work because the player couldn't really stand up or walk at all, in all honesty. So I decided to ask my friend AVERY for help. He messed around with it for a bit, but also couldn't get it to a working stage or something that we really wanted. So instead we decided to team up for this game and work on it together and basically implement a new sort of physics movement system. Now recently I made a video about creating a game only using particles, where I had this sort of power bar you can drag it to move sort of thing. I really like that idea, so I decided to add it to this game. But instead this player will have more physics, hopefully making it more fun. So basically, we will have this bar thingy that you can drag, and the further you drag it, the more forces apply to the player. Simple, right? So we replicated that system in this game, but just an FYI, we haven't added the graphical side of it, so you won't be able to see the bar thingy, but we will add that later in. We also wanted to make it more difficult for the player, so we added this fuel bar, also known as the milk bar. Now this milk bar will decrease over time, and when it reaches 0, the player will die. And the only way to increase this bar is by jumping into milk. Pretty logical, right? So we also started making these milk puddles that will increase the player's milk bar when the player is inside them. With that, we also had to start making some enemies, so we created this orange juice sprayer thingy-mabobby. Now this will spray orange juice, and if the player goes inside it, the milk bar will decrease even faster, therefore encouraging the player to avoid it completely. Because as we know, DANI doesn't like orange juice, and neither do we, so we're gonna make it the enemy. Oh, we also added some milk splashing particles, because particles make a bad game turn into a good one. Then we decided to actually add some points to the game, because currently you can't really do anything. So we made this simple yet effective level generation system. Sounds fancy, but it really isn't. We basically create some chunks and save them as prefabs. They are just basically like levels, you can see them on the screen right now. Pretty simple, right? Then we slap them into an array, and this array will basically randomly choose one of the chunks, and it will basically generate the chunk whenever the player gets near the last chunk. Pretty simple, I'm probably overcomplicating it, but here it is. This is just a really simple system. So basically, now we have a nice smooth working kind of generation system to add some variance to the game, and also we can be lazy and we don't have to actually make the levels ourselves. So yeah, level generation, woohoo! Woo! Then me and Avery worked on this meter counter thing that basically calculates how many meters you have traveled. This will basically just encourage the player to keep playing to just get a better score each time. And this works in a really simple way. So we calculate the player's original position, such as 0 on the X, and then obviously the player moves, so the X coordinate changes, and it's just basically that X coordinate just divided by 100. Pretty simple. Anyways, here it is on the screen if you want to go ahead and use that in your own game. We basically just displayed it in the level, and yeah, bam, it's pretty awesome. We also wanted to add a Gucci banana to the game, as that's basically just like a DANI thing nowadays. This is just a collectible item that the player can randomly find in the game and pick up. Now, originally we were going to make this a modifier, so when it's collected, it will modify your meter score, such as ×2 or something, but we scrapped the idea because somewhere in the nearer future, we will implement a shop where you can buy cosmetic items and boosts and basically just other things as that for the Gucci bananas. But currently, they don't really have a point to the game, they're just there to pick up. But there is potential in the future. Also, because we added the Gucci bananas, we did have to add a counter thingy, so it's at the top of the screen. It's just like a little bar that basically will display how many Gucci bananas you have collected, which is pretty awesome. With that, we also decided to implement a high score system so that the player can actually try and beat their previous meter score. This is, once again, very simple. I basically just used player prefs to go ahead and sort out the high score system. And there's a bunch of cool tutorials on it. I recommend the Brackeys Player Prefs High School tutorial. I'll leave a link in the description below because it's absolutely amazing and really simple. So the game is looking quite good right now. We then made a start scene and a game over scene. Now, the game over scene will display the player's score and high score and allow the player to play again. And then the start scene is just where you can press play, but I made sure to add a little animation to the play button to make it cooler and basically just stand out and whatnot. And at this point, we needed a name for the game, so we decided to go for citrus intolerant, which basically means you can't drink orange juice, therefore you're avoiding it, giving more sense to the game itself. And it just basically tied everything together so you can actually play the game, you know? You can die and it restart and it saves your high score or not, and it was pretty cool at this point. And then I decided to go on a break and I saw this. Wait a minute. Is that orange juice?
Yeah.
How dare you?
I was thirsty.
Now, the game was basically done. We just had a couple more things to add and change. So we added some really bad music that I made in Chrome Music Lab at 2 AM. And when I say bad, I mean it's absolutely terrible. You can hear it right now in the background. And we added it for extra game feel, but it is just kind of terrible. We also added post-processing because obviously we need it, and it's something that DANI likes, and it's something that literally everybody likes. And once again, I spent a really long time messing around with it, but it ended up looking quite nice. We also cleaned up a few things here and there, and then yeah, the game was done and we could export and play it. Okay guys, so we are in the game and I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So here you can see this is the main menu that I made, and this is the bobbing up and down of the button. But let's go ahead and press play, I guess. So I also added some background that I didn't mention earlier, so we have this nice kind of background and obviously the post-processing and everything. And I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a pretty fun game and it has definitely quite a lot of potential into making it a lot better. I think me and Avery could definitely like add quite a few things here and there. Like, for example, we were thinking of adding a shop, and we might do that. If you guys enjoy this game, we can make it, you know, a lot better. This was done in basically less than 48 hours, roughly less than 48 hours, so it's not the best of the game. But yeah, I'll leave links to it in the description either way, so you guys can go ahead and check it out, play it for yourself, because it's pretty fun and actually quite addicting, and it ended up being quite cool. Now my high score is 135 if you guys want to go ahead and try and beat that, but I know you won't be able to because I'm just, you know, such an epic gamer that, you know, I'm just so much better than all of you guys. No, I'm kidding. But genuinely, go ahead and play it. It's a pretty fun game. So yeah, my high score of 164, try and beat it, and if you have, send me a screenshot on my Discord. And if you have enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below if you have any suggestions for this game, if you enjoyed it. I will be replying to all of you guys. Also, we just recently reached 10,000 subscribers, and I've got a video coming out for that. Also, another question that people were asking is the fact that there hasn't been a Project Jude video in a while, and the only reason I haven't uploaded one in a long time, or like over a week, is because I'm working with, I can't speak, I'm working with someone and I'm just waiting for them to finish the thing that they are making. So I'm just waiting on that, and once that is done, I can release another Project Jude video. Either way guys, hope you have a nice awesome day or night whenever you're watching. I love you all guys and I'll see you guys later. Bye!